Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to make a value scale. Some people call it a value key scale using a regular number 2 pencil. Now you can do this with any material. You can do it with a charcoal pencil, you can do it with a drawing pencil, you can do it with paint. Any type of material will work. If you're using this in my class, then I've probably given you one of the ebony drawing pencils. These are great because it says jet black extra smooth. That's going to give you like a really dark deep color. Or you can use your number 2 pencil that you have here. Notice it says HB number 2. HB, remember, is like right in the middle. That's going to be at like your 50% gray there. If you look at this as a number line, think of it, this is going to be your 0 or right in the middle. And then, because HB stands for hard softs, that means your lead, your graphite's right there. But an ebony pencil is going to be more like 100% here because it's more like a 6B, sometimes even a 9B. And B stands for soft in pencils, and the softer your graphite, the darker it gets. And then you might even have a pencil that is labeled like 4H or 6H, and you can see that if you look at it. This is a 2H, so that's going to be right there because you would have HBH and then 2H, and this is going to be lighter. So the higher up the number gets with an H, the lighter it is, and then the higher up a number gets with the letter B, the darker it is. So I'm going to show you a value key scale with a regular number 2 pencil, but there's also an example of how to do one with your ebony drawing pencil. I'm going to draw my key scale with a marker so that you can see it. You can also draw yours with a pencil. You do not have to use a marker. I'm also drawing mine large. You can see it's about the size of my hand. The reason I'm drawing it large is because when you're first practicing how to do a value scale, it is a lot easier to draw larger than smaller because you have a much bigger space to work with. Right? Now, on our value grayscale, you can see on our key scale here, we have 0% all the way up to 100%. Is this better? 0% to 100%. That's telling me what the percentage of black is. So 0% white means that there is 0% black, and that's why it's all white. Whereas black is listed as 100%. Gray, you have here 50%. This is exactly half black, half white. That's a perfect mixture right there for that perfect gray. But then you can have lighter grays here, like 20% gray is telling me that 20% of it is black and 80% of it is white. And then you can get up here, you can see 90%, 80%. The higher the percentage, the darker the color. This works with any color mixing of any value, but you're going to use this in our drawings that we're going to be starting next. We're going to do a 5 value scale. You could do 3, which would be white, gray, and black, but I want for you to learn how to do 5. So we're going to do white, light gray, gray, dark gray, and black. And if we're looking at these as percentages or ratios, then you're going to look at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it's going to go in the opposite direction. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And what this ratio is the amount of black to white. So this is saying that white has 0 black and 4 parts white. Right? You could also look at it here as your 0%, your 25%, your 50%, your 75%, and your 100%. And if this is a little confusing now, it's okay. It's going to make more sense in just a little bit. So using my number 2 pencil, I could color it and fill the space in like this, like I normally do. But since we're trying to get a nice even layer, I'm actually going to turn my paper and I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to do it like this. Yeah. So this says 0 to 4. So with black, that would be how many layers of the pencil I use, and white would be leaving it plain because I'm only using a pencil. But let's say I was using a charcoal pencil, right, of white and black, or paint of white and black, then this ratio would tell me that I would have 0 black, but 4 layers of white, so 4 layers of this. So that's why it's important to have the ratio for both of them written down. Now for light gray, I'm going to take my pencil here, and I'm going to do 1 layer. So, and I fill that in with 1 layer, okay? 1 layer of my black, which is what this is. Then I have gray, and this says 2 layers, so it's very simple. So now I do 2 layers. So I'm going to do 1 layer this way. Notice that I've applied the same amount of pressure. So even though this is my light gray, and here I have this gray, I've only done 1 layer, so that's why they look the same value. But now I'm going to do my second layer by, again, applying the same amount of pressure. You don't want to put more pressure down on your pencil because then it will change that value. So now I have white, light gray, gray. For dark gray, it says 3 layers. I like to alternate. It's like cross-hatching is what it is. So if I do this layer horizontal, then I can do this layer vertical. See how those look the exact same? But then I'm going to come in and add my 3rd layer. Here, see? See how it's gradually getting darker. The ratio between each one is increasing by the same amount, by 25% each time. And then black, again, this is where a lot of people want to change that pressure, but don't. It's the same amount of pressure. I'm going to do 4 layers. So 1, 2, 3, and then 4. See how those are the same now? But now, when I've added my 4th layer, it makes it black or darker. So this is as black as this pencil gets. Remember, this is my HB pencil. And you can see a gradual change. You can leave this just like this and be done. But some people like to smooth it or burnish it. You could use a Q-tip. You can use your finger, which remember, I tell you all the time that your hands are your best tools. So you could just smooth this out with your finger. You don't have to, but you can. If you're lucky enough to have a stump or a tortillon, then you can take this and you can see where I've used it here and you can blend it that way. I'm going to show you how to do this with a Q-tip because most everybody has those. You could also use toilet paper or tissue. Anything will work, paper towel. But I like to start with the lightest value first because if I start with the darkest value, if I'm not replacing my Q-tip or at least twisting it so I'm not using the same area, it will change that value. And you don't want for that to happen because this is your scale. So you want for it to be the right ratios and percentages. So there we go. This is my value scale with a regular number 2 pencil or an HB pencil. Just to show you the comparison, I have done another one here. This is the exact same scale, same ratio. See how it's the same ratios? But this one is with a drawing pencil. This is with my ebony pencil. Do you see how even though I've used the same percentages, the same ratios, this is much darker than that one. So that shows you how having a hard or a soft lead really makes a difference in how dark your piece gets. Then this one right here, I know that there's a picture of it in Canvas, but here you go. This is even darker. You see, it's the same ratios, but this is a charcoal pencil. This is a white and a black charcoal pencil mixed together. So for this one, I did 4 layers of white and 0 of black. 3 layers of white and 1 of black. But do you see how even though it's a different material, the ratio and the percentages are going to stay consistent there? So make sure you do not have to do 3 value scales. You only have to submit 1. But whatever material you use for your value scale needs to be the same material that you use for your drawings this week. Let me know if you have any questions.